questions for businesses and organizations in a bid to navigate the constraints and build resilience through these trying times. Take a listen.
Step you need to really consider and sort of understand your position as a business. Are you at a survival point? Are you at a point you need to sustain your business? Or are you at a point you need to drive for growth, right? I think the first stage when you're in a period of economic crisis is to ensure that your business can actually survive, right? And what are the factors you consider for survival? Do you have enough cash in the business to carry you for a period of 3-6 months, depends on your runway as a business, right? Are you going to be able to generate enough revenue, right, to be able to continue to run your business? Those are the kind of questions you ask for survival.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has said that importation of petroleum products will end by mid-2023. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, made the announcement during the State House ministerial briefing hosted by the Presidential Communications Team on Tuesday in Abuja. Kyari said the combined production of Nigeria's refurbished refineries and the Dangote refinery will be sufficient to eliminate imports. The Nigerian Communications Commission has established a new fixed international termination rate of $0.10 for voice services paid by overseas telecom providers for terminating international calls on Nigerian local networks. The ITR was raised from the $0.045 set at a floor price in December of last year, and that's according to the Commission. The new fee, which goes into effect on September 1, 2022, is the fixed rate for ITL services. It was also stated that multinational operators were required to pay local operations in dollars. According to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the federal government has completed preparations to deploy a security infrastructure similar to that used by Saudi Aramco to secure its oil pipelines. The new step might be linked to the recent increase in pipeline vandalism and crude oil theft, which has resulted in enormous financial losses for the oil industry. The new security architecture, which is to be launched shortly, would aid in the prevention of huge oil pipeline theft, which has resulted in the country losing 30% of its produced volumes to petroleum thieves. Pensioners under the aegis of the electricity sector, Retirees Welfare Association, have requested that the federal government expedite payment of 34.9 billion naira owing to them by the board of the Nigerian Electricity Liability Management Company. Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the Vice President, inaugurated the NELPCO board, which is chaired by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning in August 2022. The federal government of Nigeria established NELPCO on August 25, 2006 through the Bureau of Public Enterprises to assume and administer the debts and non-core assets of the defunct Power Holding Company of Nigeria, as well as the PHC and pre-privatization liabilities in accordance with the provisions of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act. Given the current status of the GDP numbers, Dr. Andrew Nevin, partner and chief economist at PricewaterhouseCoopers, has bemoaned the poor attention showed to the SDGs in Nigeria and has called for more inclusivity of the agenda as a primary indicator of the well-being of the nation, seen as the SDGs target development and growth in fighting poverty through empowerment, job creation, provision of clean and safe water, roads, power, as well as provision of social amenities for meaningful development and growth.
Is the prime number that's supposed to tell you about the health of the economy. But what we've learned over the last couple of decades, and particularly the last decade, is it's not a very good indicator of all the things that really matter to us. So I guess what I would urge the nation is let's go beyond GDP. So at one level, let's start collecting other numbers. I mean, if you think of the Sustainable Development Goals, why are they so powerful? Because they speak to what really matters to people. As we said, poverty, education, the environment, gender equality, good, decent work. So they still connect to the economy, but they connect in a way that matters to people. Now, the thing about the 17 SDGs is that in fact Nigeria is more advanced than many other countries. Go a little bit further. Instead of putting out a headline about GDP, let's put a headline about the SDGs.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has threatened to halt debt on domestic airlines with current commitments of 19 billion naira and $7.6 million due to unremitted passenger ticket payments. As a result, the aviation sector regulator has mandated that local carriers sign a memorandum of understanding on how they will pay their debts in the next 30 days, beginning August 30, 2022, on the platform of airline operators of Nigeria, failing which their operating licenses will be revoked immediately. The NCAA Director General Musa Nuhu made the announcement on Tuesday in Abuja at a stakeholder meeting with airlines and aviation agencies, explaining that the debt issue was stifling its operations and pitting the authorities against the federal government. Following continuing rehabilitation, the NNPC Limited says it would outsource its operations and administrations of the country's refineries. According to Mele Kyari, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, he says that this is one of the restrictions imposed by lenders who are funding the refinery renovation. Kyari stated that the NNPC already has contracts in place and contractors employed with the goal of restoring the refineries to their full installed capacity. All right, those are that's the business news that we have for you at this time. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return, it will be time to take you through the market analysis for today. We saw that the bears held sway on the NGX on Tuesday. I'll be giving you more details on the NGX and other markets across Africa, as well as the rest of the world. Do follow our social media platforms and don't touch the dial. We'll be right back.
Do you want to live your life financially free? Do you want to take your business to the next level and succeed? Then the time is now. Moneyline with Nancy on AIT presents a free one-day personal and business acceleration masterclass, a live conference geared at revealing top secrets by elite business experts and life coaches in Nigeria on ways to improve yourself, business, and create wealth. Date, Saturday 17 September 2022. Venue, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Maitama, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Attendance is free. Visit our social media handles to register: Instagram and Facebook at Moneyline with Nancy TV, Twitter at Moneyline TV.
For more inquiries and sponsorship, contact 0814-833-9088 or 0906-691-2600
or email us at info@moneylinewithnancy.com. Proudly supported by Be there.
Trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange saw another decline in share prices for the second day in a row this week. What you're seeing right now is, what's that? Okay, that's the early morning trade. Just a few minutes ago, this is what the markets just did a few minutes ago is currently trading as we speak. Earlier this morning, like an hour ago, so 503 deals so far. The local stock market continued to decline. That was on Tuesday as cherry-picking activities stole the show. On Tuesday, we saw the benchmark index rose 7 basis points. I'm still talking about Nigeria, guys, to about 49,642.69 points, while the market capitalization fell by 18.37 billion naira to 26.78 trillion naira at the last close. However, the market was left with the same number of gainers, 13 gainers and 13 decliners, even though the year-to-date return was whittled down to 16.21%. That's from January till date. The market has done about 16.2%. The NGX banking index was the only sectorial gauge to decline, and it did decline by 0.13%, driven by sharp sell-offs in Access Core, GT Co, FCMB, and Sterling Bank, as investors continue to seek market direction with intense bargain hunting activities. The NGX Industrial Index traded in a quiet area on Tuesday, in contrast to the NGX Oil and Gas Index that was up by 0.10%. NGX Insurance was up by 0.08%, and Consumer Goods Index was also up. And we saw all the gains thanks to the strong demand in corn oil and flour mills. For today, bearish sentiment are expected. Let's see how that goes. Now, let's move over to the money market. NIBOR moderated across all tenor buckets, with the overnight lending rate increasing by 28 basis points to 14.85% due to additional liquidity tightening. We saw that the NITI increased for all monitored maturities and for all tracked maturities in the OTC bond market. The value of FGN bonds was muted while yields continued to rise. The value of FGN Euro bonds decreased for all maturities. Okay, if we go back to the interbank markets, the interbank rates rather, anticipated to decline today as a result of FAC inflows. Even so, there was some slight buy interest on the short end of the curve on Tuesday in the market. Okay, so for Treasury bills, we saw that the benchmark yield was at 8.04% on average. Today, we anticipate that the current pattern will hold. On Tuesday, we saw that buy interest were observed on a few maturities, particularly on the 2042 and 2026 maturities, which contributed to the bullish sentiment in the FGN local bond market. As a result, the benchmark yield on average decreased by 3 basis points to 13.13%. All right, let's move over to other markets very quickly, shall we, guys? Let's talk about Africa, other African markets. In Ghana, an Australian mining company is suing Ghana for in London Court of Arbitration for $395 million for what is said that the country is helping to steal mining concession worth about over $140 million. Still in Ghana, the electricity company says it reminded its customers and stakeholders, in fact, today that electricity tariffs increase of 27%, 27.1% is to take effect tomorrow. So let's see how that goes. Those are the numbers there. For Egypt, it was up 40 basis points. NSE 20 down earlier this morning by 3 basis points. Let's move over to other markets. In the United States, Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, as well as NASDAQ, it was a bit mixed on Tuesday. As you can see, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 5 basis points, and the S&P 500 just down slightly. And this was as at 10 a.m. West African time. So what you're seeing here, futures trade. Let's quickly move over to the European folks and see, okay, it's a sea of red, really, just a few hours ago. It's a sea of red. So those markets are actually mirroring my attire this morning. So it's all red. Okay, FTSE 100 in London down 0.33%. The German DAX, more than 0.25%. The CAC in France, down nearly 1%. And IBEX 35, just about 1% downside for the markets. What else do we have, guys? The Asian folks today is also down, or they're also down really, and these were the trades overnight. From the Nikkei 225 to the Aussies to Shanghai Composite of China, we're seeing that all the markets here are down. Okay, what else? Commodities, where of course the price of Brent crude is hovering close to okay, just more than $95 US. Just a few seconds ago, while I checked it, Brent was doing about $99 US. You know that these numbers oscillate because really the markets never sleeps, because when we are sleeping here, other markets are really trading. So it's just a circle, you know. The US have not started trading. Wall Street would open, I think, about 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time. So you see, it's just a circle. But these are the numbers that we have this morning as at 10:13 a.m. West African time, which is our own time belt. Natural gas trading up by just 4 basis points. Gold is down 0.5% at $1,714 an ounce. Cocoa is around $2,400 US. Palm oil is trading at $4,144. Wheat is trading down nearly 1%. We know that, of course, Ukraine and Russia, those are the two countries that are, you know, major players in the global food basket, and that has also been affecting the price of wheat, which has also affected us here. In case you've bought bread in the last few months, you will know that whenever you go back to buy bread again, it will increase. At least bread prices have increased close to 30 or 40% in the last few months, and it's been attributed to what is happening in Russia, Ukraine, bearing in mind that those countries are, you know, the grain producers, or they take a huge chunk of grain production in the world. All right, is there any other story? Not really, you know, coming out of the country. Where we are right now, it's about a fiscal crisis. In case you watched the show yesterday, you understand what I'm talking about. But in case you did not see it, visit our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV, and watch that show. That's Tuesday's show. So many things to learn from, be informed, because yesterday I did take our viewers through the fiscal crisis and the analysis, in fact, from the Minister of Finance, Budgets and National Planning. I did break those numbers down. And bear in mind that those numbers are not just numbers. Those numbers are you and me, and the statistics, which I say here every day, really goes on to affect every one of us. If the government says that it's going to be getting about trillions of naira in the next few months or next few years, where is that trillions of naira going to come from? It's going to come from you and from me. Anyhow, it will come out. You know, if we're saying that Nigeria's debt is 41 trillion naira and is, of course, expected to be more than that, because the ways and means of the CBN is not yet there. So as we are now, we are hovering around 60 trillion naira debt, and it may likely increase. What do you think that I'm talking about? That means you are owing. I'm also owing. I hope you understand that all the stuff that I do here every morning, it's not about just numbers. I don't understand what she's saying. Try to understand what I am saying, because it affects you and it affects me. So let's quickly take a break. And when we return from the break, we will continue the program. Do stay. Medu. It's been many years of sitting and interacting at this Moneyline with Nancy's table, dissecting, analyzing, and proffering solutions to the world's economic problems, most especially in Africa and Nigeria. This table has granted me access to the world's smartest people, technocrats, policymakers, problem solvers, enterprise leaders, and more. This time, I chose not to be alone at the table, but to bring you to a free one-day personal and business acceleration masterclass conference so that you can gain the skills, the knowledge, tools that you need to maximize your business and personal life. You don't want to forge on unequipped and unprepared. Join me and awesome speakers to help prepare and equip you for the next level of growth. You can visit any of our social media platforms to register or scan this QR code. I look forward to welcoming you all.
Honestly, the situation were in between life and death. You cannot identify what will happen to you today or in the next 1 or 2, 3 hours. Major of it is insecurity.
It's the dollar issue. Sometimes what to bought for, as in I went to market now, bought for 10 items. After selling it, I cannot buy up to 10 again. Instead of me to buy 12, I was able to buy only 7 because of the increase in the dollar. So it's really affecting us seriously.
The transport fare, it's not even fair at all. Food stock, because I stay alone and all that. So it's the inflation is getting massively every day. We should work on creating more agriculture companies and industries to develop the country and all.
As it is, my business has really depreciated due to the economy, even to the fall of dollars and everything. It's affecting everything at all, even down to the family cycle, and it's affecting everything. Even the livelihood has been affected. If the economy could be settled, every other thing will be settled. Well, the leaders, if they are willing, if they are ready, we are all out again, and we are ready to change the economy by changing the leader.
I can say the previous economic we've had at more fair and balanced. You can balance it. But this one, my sister, is something else. I like working in the night. But for some days now, anything 5:36, I do my house. I don't lock up. So the security is not then. I press my phone when I'm on the road. But now, night period, my phone is. So the security is really, really bad, and I feel they should work on it.
Welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria has officially begun the second phase of the INARA project, which is intended to drive financial inclusion by onboarding the unbanked and the unserved users, leveraging offline channels. This was disclosed by the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele at the grand finale of the INARA Hackathon held at the International Conference Center in Abuja. The INARA, which was launched in October 2021 by President Muhammadu Buhari, is expected to be accessible to all Nigerians and will provide more possibilities to bring in the unbanked into the digital economy. So we'll take that package, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Yeah, God willing. I'll be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. Bye for now.
For the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, enabling private sector innovation is one of the 3 foundational principles of Central Bank's CBDC. Hackathon was another forward leap by the Central Bank in the all Nigerians receive the full benefits of a central bank digital currency. Since October 25, 2021, when President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the INARA, making Nigeria the first African country to launch a central bank digital currency, The CBN has consistently improved on the process of deepening Nigeria's payment system to ensure that Nigeria remains a shining star in FX exchanges. Effective implementation of welfare-inclined government programs and enhanced efficiency in the interbank market. Emefiele said that massive application corroborates the fact that Nigerians both within and outside the country possess innovative...
Nigeria has put in a global spotlight. Nigeria was put in Naira is a journey, not a one-time event. Remarkably, this hackathon event is to come, given that we are increasingly, in fact, we don't have a choice but to live with the fact that we are now in a digital economy, in a digital space, where the use of cash will dissipate to almost to zero, and the use of digital economy or digital currency will increase and will now become part of our lives. Our goals is that we will deepen payment system in Nigeria, and we will seek to project Nigeria as a country that truly embraces digital technology and digital money for the good and advancement of the payment system in Nigeria. Pursuant to achieving this mandate of preserving monetary and fiscal stability, the CBN is strategic in charting the future of Nigeria's legal tender, be it in its traditional or digital form, as the economy transits to a digital one, as well as charting the course for innovation in the financial sector and in the infrastructure underpinning financial markets. Hence, the importance of getting the balance right between innovation and stability. Against this background, the launch of eNaira was timely and strategic in complementing the various diversification and digitization initiatives of the federal government, including the launch of the Nigeria Digital Economy Policy and Strategy. The National Broadband enabled direct welfare disbursement to citizens, support a resilient payments ecosystem, improve availability and usability of central bank, and reduce cost and improve efficiency of cross-border payments